In this video, we're going to provide a demonstration of the integration between Event Intelligence and Zapier. So let's first start off with, what is Zapier? Zapier is a universal API connector, which means it can connect virtually any two apps together so that you can move data from one app to another. Within the Zapier marketplace, there are over 5,000 apps already included, which means you can connect those apps through Zapier and again, move data from one app to virtually any other app through what they call triggers. Now, Zapier does require a separate subscription to their service. It is a paid service. They have a free tier, but it is very limited in terms of what you can do and how much data you can move. So in order to experience the true benefit of Zapier, you'll want to sign up for one of their paid plans. One of the lower level paid plans should be sufficient for what we would want to do with Event Intelligence. So what we're going to take a look at first here is a landing page that we've put together. It's at eventintelligence.com/API that provides a nice overview of the integration between Event Intelligence and Zapier. So right up here at the top, we've included some links to various categories of apps that are already included in the Zapier ecosystem. So for example, marketing apps. We click on that. This shows you some of the top apps that are in there. But again, virtually any app that you can think of is likely already in the Zapier marketplace, whether you want to use a spreadsheet, you want to have it send email through Google Gmail, you can add it to MailChimp, Constant Contact if you want to build mailing lists, you can integrate with QuickBooks for financial management. Any app that you can think of, odds are it's already within that Zapier ecosystem. So we've again provided links to some of the top categories, but you're free to go in there and look around. And if you don't see what you're looking for here, just go ahead and type in the search box. It'll tell you if there's an integration available. Below that, we have a list of our available triggers with Event Intelligence. So a trigger is what sends data from Event Intelligence to Zapier, which in turn then can be sent to any of these 5,000 plus other apps. So we have triggers set up for the availability checker, the contact form, the message form, the instant quote, and the booking system as far as our front-end website tools. So within each of these, there are two triggers available. There's an automatic trigger and a manual trigger. The automatic trigger is anytime a client fills out one of these forms on your website, that trigger will automatically fire and it'll automatically put that client's data that they put into the form, it'll send it through the trigger in Zapier, which can in turn go into any other apps that you have it connected with. For each of these, there's also a manual trigger. A manual trigger is when you're looking in the client communications section. I've pulled up an example here, and you're reviewing a communication that was previously submitted to you. You can click the icon with the three little bubbles to resend that client data or that information that was sent on that form, to resend it through the API trigger. To again, if you want to send it through Zapier into another app. So the best way to think of the way that this is set up is, if you were to create an integration today between Event Intelligence through Zapier and another app, any of these forms that are submitted from this day forward will automatically go into that third-party app that you've set up. But let's say you want to go back in time and you want to send some client data for forms that were previously received before you set up the Zapier integration. That's where that manual trigger comes in. That's where you can come in and say, okay, I received this one, well in this case, in January of 2018, but I still want to send it through Zapier into my third-party software. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that icon and resend it. So that's primarily the difference between the automatic and the manual trigger. Then we have two other triggers here at the bottom that are more inside of the management system. The first one is when you create a new event. So here, this is very similar, but this would be a form that you would be filling out when you're creating a new event in your system. And you can have it set it up to automatically, when you create that event, to send it through Zapier to initiate that trigger, to put it into that third-party piece of software. And again, the possibilities are endless. It could be you're putting it into your MailChimp account so that you can send monthly emails to all of your clients. You could send it to Constant Contact. You could send it to QuickBooks to set up a new customer record. You could put it into a funnel system to send off automated emails. And again, we have an automatic and a manual trigger for that. So it's automatically triggered when you create a new event, but you can go back and manually re-trigger that at any time. And when you pull up the event record, there's that same icon with the 3 little bubbles here that allows you to resend that. And finally, we have an apply payment trigger. And this goes anytime you receive a payment, but you mark it from, when a payment comes into the system, it comes in as a pending status, and you change it to applied. When you've verified receipt of funds, you want to apply it to the event. This trigger goes automatically anytime you apply a payment. So anytime you're confirming the receipt of funds and applying that towards the client's balance for their event. And here, again, possibilities might be QuickBooks if you want to put a payment into QuickBooks, or any other financial tracking software that's integrated through Zapier. So this gives you an overview of the available triggers. What we're going to show you now very quickly is how to set up one of these triggers. So we're going to set up for our example, we're going to do something very simple and very basic. We're just going to take the results of the form that we receive for the booking system, and we're going to put it into a Google worksheet. And in reality, you might want to do something more elaborate with the data than this, but this is a very simple and clean example just to show you exactly how data can move from Event Intelligence into a third-party app automatically. So again, we're using Google Worksheets here under the Google Docs ecosystem. I've set up a Google worksheet called Event Intelligence Forms, and I have a worksheet or a tab in here called Booking, and within that I have the various fields that I want to be able to track that come in through the booking system. So I've created that in my Google account. So now I'm just going to log into my Zapier account, and I want to create a Zap. And we're going to start here with a trigger. The Event Intelligence app right now is by invite, so once you're upgraded to the premium or the enterprise plan and you want to take advantage of the Zapier integration, we will send you the link for the invite so you have access to that. Once you're here though, it will ask you to log in, and to do that, it's going to ask for your account name. So that's the part before the .eventintelligence.com. So we're working with the demo account. So it's demo.eventintelligence.com is our URL. So demo would be the account name. And it's also going to ask for an API key. Both of these can be found on your company information screen inside your Event Intelligence account. So go to admin, then go to company info, and you'll see both your account name and your API key listed on there. I'm not going to show it here in the video because the API key is we want to keep that protected for security purposes. So also don't share yours with anybody, keep that private, but I'm not going to show it here in the video. But right here, it'll ask you to log in, and that's what it's going to ask you for. To authenticate the Event Intelligence account, it's going to ask for your account name and your API key. So the event that we're going to choose, here's all the triggers that we had put in to the system that I explained earlier. We're going to choose Booking System. We're going to click Continue. This is just, again, this is we're showing us we're signed into the Event Intelligence, the demo account, but this will show your account name. If you have multiple accounts with Event Intelligence, you can toggle those and change them here. We'll click Continue. So we're going to test the trigger first. And this is just going to bring in some sample data to show us exactly what's going to come in through the booking system form. It's going to give us all the field names, and this is all just made up pretend data just for sample purposes. So go ahead and continue. And again, we're going to bring it into Google Sheets just for the sake of our demonstration here. So what we want to do is when we receive that booking form submission, we want to create a spreadsheet row. And you can do anything that you want. This is just what we're doing here for our demonstration. We're going to create a spreadsheet row, hit continue. It'll now ask you to log into your Google account if you've not already done that through Zapier. I've logged into my account, so we'll go ahead and click continue. And now we get to choose a spreadsheet. So here it is, Event Intelligence Forms. That was a spreadsheet I showed you. And now we're going to choose that worksheet or that tab within that spreadsheet where we want this to go. And we're going to choose Booking. So now here are all the fields from that worksheet: account, received, name, email, phone. Again, if I were to go back to my worksheet, you'll see all those up here at the top. So right now, all we have to do is essentially map the data. We're just going to say what goes to what. So we've got the account. Here's the account field. Received. This is the date that this form was submitted. And if you can't find it, you can do a keyword search. So if I type received, there it is. Click on it, you'll see it put it in here. The name, here's the name field. Email. Can't find the phone, we'll search, there it is. Address. And for whatever app that you might be bringing it into, it's going to list all those fields here. So if you're bringing it into a CRM app, for example, like HubSpot, Salesforce, Zoho, it'll show you all the available fields that you can bring the data into. This is just because I created this Google worksheet. This is showing me the fields that I've set up in that worksheet. But depending on what app you're going to bring it into, there is, various different field names are gonna appear here. Event type. Location. And you also don't have to do every field. This is just for the purpose of this demonstration. I just wanted to show every field and how it comes in. But you don't have to bring in every field. You can be selective about that. Number of guests. Event date. Source. User's IP address. Subtotal, again, because this is dealing with the booking, so we have some additional data fields here that aren't on the regular contact form, which is also beneficial if you're going to do any sort of integration with financial tracking software like QuickBooks. And you may not use all these fields. You may not use tax for our sample data. We send you something in every field just so you can see every available field, but they might not even all be applicable to your company. So that's something else to keep in mind. There's the total. Do the deposit. Package name that they booked. The length. It's a lot faster to search for these by name. And the overtime rate. So let's just search for that one. There it is. Okay, so we've got all of our fields mapped. Go ahead and click continue. This is just showing us what's going to go into what column in the spreadsheet. But it is a good idea to test. So we'll go ahead and click test step. And we're going to watch here. It's creating it, sending it, now saying a spreadsheet row was sent. So let's go to our Google Sheets. And there it is. There's all the test data, Kelly Taylor, all the event information that we put in. So let's come back to Zapier. And let's click publish. So now that Zap is created, it's live. So I'm going to show you two things real quick here. First of all, let's show you what happens when we actually fill out a booking. So let's go ahead and put in some sample data here. Say we're booking a wedding at the Drake Hotel. We've got 300 guests. We'll say it's going to be this Saturday from 6 p.m. to midnight. And we'll leave all the defaults in here. $1,400, a wedding package. There's overtime. How did you hear about us? We'll say repeat client, create contract. Okay. So we've submitted now the booking form. We have the contract. Everything's normal in terms of the way that the client sees it. They can download the PDF, they can print it, etc. But let's go check it out. So here it is in our Google worksheet. All the data that we just put into that form has now carried through into this worksheet. So we have that information. Now, just to show you, like I was saying earlier, let's say what happens if you've set up your Zapier integration and now you want to go back and send a booking that was already previously received before you had set up the integration. So I can show you that as well. We can come in here. I can resend the one that we just sent. It's right here. If I click on the three dots, send to API, it says it was sent. If we come back, there it is. That's the same one. Let's see if we can find a different one just for demonstration here. Let's see if any of these are. All right, this looks like this is a booking here, so let's go ahead and send that. Click it, we come over, and there it is, Jim Mills. So you'll see it's pretty neat the way that it works. You have some flexibility and some options in terms of sending it automatically from the tool, as well as going back in time and resending data that was previously received. So that was the emphasis behind that. But really within Zapier, I mean, you have so many different options because the ecosystem in the market in terms of their apps is just so big. With over 5,000 apps, they're adding hundreds of new apps every week. So chances are, if what you want is not in there today, there's a very good chance it'll be in there in the near future. So definitely something worth checking out. And if you have any questions with it, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask. We're happy to help in any way that we can.